Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Trend Trader with a quick update on Bitcoin. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. Here we have Bitcoin. I'm looking at the Kraken chart on the daily, and we were in this descending channel for quite some time, broke out of it, came up here, and we're looking to consolidate above this support area that we broke down from our previous capitulation descending triangle. And here on the daily, yesterday we got our weekly close actually, and we pumped all the way up leading up to that close, and then immediately got the dump. Exactly like I said, it played out perfectly. We made it up to like 10,000 and like 20, depending on what exchange you're on. I said around 10,100. But obviously got front run, and we got that huge dump, and now we have a bearish engulfing candle on the daily. Again, exactly like what happened right here, which is exactly what I said was going to happen before that happened. Which that was obviously the precursor for everything. So this is very clear now. Once you start seeing massive red candles engulfing multiple candles leading up to them at the top of a huge run, it's time to start thinking, hey, wait a minute here. This might be the change. We might be flipping back over now. And I'm not saying that we got to go down here and put in a new low, but it's very clear that this trend has topped out for now. And this consolidation up here is going to get rejected. Let's take this down to a shorter time frame. I mean, first off, while we're on the daily here, this is strengthening. The Water explosion is strengthening to the downside right now. So we're getting stronger to the downside. So I would expect continued sell-off, and I would expect it to get more violent. And the size of these red candles and the violence of the sell-off makes it very clear what's happening right here. And again, we still have a ton of room down here to move as well. So we're getting that violent sell-off from the top here, and now if you don't see what's happening right here, this was a key resistance. We broke above it, we tested as support, it held, but we lost this parabolic trend line. We lost this. So now what you expect to happen is we retest that. So we did. We lost it, we retested it, we came down here, we found support at the previous support. So now what's going to happen next? Well, based on markets and technical analysis, the next thing that's going to happen is we're going to continue to find support right here in the same spot. And then we're going to test back up to the upside, and we're going to put in another lower high, which is what we've been doing. And then we're creating now what's referred to as a descending triangle. We have a buy wall at the bottom holding price up every time it gets down to it, and then we have sellers selling off massively and violently, and then we have ambitious buyers, or people that are not savvy to market conditions, continue to buy it, and it keeps floating up, and they keep attempting to break it out, and then it fails, and they get dumped on again. And then same thing happens, it floats up again, and people say, oh, here we go, never going to be below 10,000 again, and then they get dumped on again. So the same thing's going to happen again, and then we're finally going to break down here, and we're going to lose this structure, okay? And then afterwards, people are going to say, oh man, that was a descending triangle, and that was distribution taking place. But in all reality, if you know what you're looking at, it's very clear what's been happening this entire time. And I said it way back over in here. Before this move happened, I said exactly what was going to happen, the exact target of this distribution and the retest of the breakdown of the parabolic trend line. And it literally happened exactly. And I took that move. I took this move back here too. And now here we are back down here again. I'm not going to take it again. I'm not going to try to capture this move here, because the next move is down. The next move is down here. We're going to retest now the bottom of this trend line. So, I mean, depending how you draw it, we're coming down here. We're going to test this trend line at 8,800. That's where we're going next. We're going to capitulate from this descending triangle that we've been forming, and we're going to come down here. The measure move is going to line up with that. It's going to line up with our previous support resistance. It's going to line up with our previous breakout. It's going to line up with our parabolic trend line. And I'm not saying we don't get down to 8,000. I'm not saying we don't stop at 9,000. But I mean, it's very clear what's getting ready to happen right now, or in the process of happening right now. So, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to break through right now. Like I said, we could get that bounce back up here again, but the same thing is going to happen. We're going to put in another lower high until we don't. And the only saving grace here is to potentially take out this high and continue moving to the upside and then get continuation. And because of all the uncertainty in the markets right now, I mean, that's completely possible. Anything can happen right now. And I may have bias based on, like, technical analysis and, years of analyzing charts and assets. And, if you've ever heard that mantra, show me the, or quote, whatever you want to call it, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. I mean, that's playing out right now perfectly with all these different assets. I mean, you could see it with gold for the last, couple years, silver. I've been screaming it. You can go back and look at my charts all over the place. Basically talking about precious metals and accumulation and how I've been doing it for years now. And I'm not talking about for 30 years. I'm talking about for years through the accumulation phase, while big money's been doing it. And now you see the exact same things happening, with the S&P and all this. And, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, whatever, this world economies are crashing down right now. And they're going to blame it on the coronavirus and this, that, and the other. And you're going to read about it in the history books, this huge, like, plague of the 21st century that, kills off all these people and whatever. And I'm not taking this lightly. I'm just saying that's the stuff you read about in the history books. You don't read about all the crazy things that the governments, the world governments and central banks did leading up to this to cause the financial collapse. You just hear about, like, the easy little cop-out to say, like, oh yeah, there was a huge plague virus and it killed all these people, and stock markets crashed and housing crashed, and the world economy came crashing down, and this is how the big people and the governments and 1% came in and saved the day. And again, I'm not trying to get into all this conspiracy theory stuff, but I mean, this stuff is all playing out like a book. I mean, it's basically like, paint by numbers. And the big money and the powerful people are painting these charts on all these different assets and all these different markets, and now this virus outbreak, and now they're saying, oh, it may have, been, basically like genetically engineered. Like, I mean, I don't even want to get into all the conspiracy theory stuff of it. I mean, eventually it all comes out in the end, but it's just crazy to think that, how all this is playing out essentially like textbook. And now here we are getting ready, to essentially play down the same situation again and correct here, and it's the same exact thing happening again. People are bullish. They paint the picture going into the weekly close that we paint like above everything, and we're looking at a breakout, and then as soon as the weekly close ends, people FOMO into it and say, oh, that's it. We close above this point. Like, let's go. It's going up. It's bullish. That's the indicator. We got the golden cross. Like, all this stuff. But people don't know how to actually read the charts and read the market and see what's taking place. Like, they only just come and they essentially just read you the news like the next day. That's what all this technical analysis I see all over the place is. It's basically people telling you everything. It's like the hindsight TA after it happens. Like, pay attention to who sees this stuff beforehand. Pay attention to who's talking about these patterns and these movements beforehand. And, do your boy a favor. Maybe share his videos. Give him a like. Subscribe. You know what I mean? Help grow the community. And, maybe save some people some money. Make some people some money. So, but there you have it, Crypto Trend Trader. That's my 2 thoughts for the day. We got our weekly close. I didn't even make a second video yesterday because I was like, what is this video even to be? Just me telling you to just watch the video from earlier today? Or just me saying, like, told you so? I don't know. I mean, honestly, though, I'm not even trying to rant on you guys because I know you're the smart ones. You're here for, the TA. You know what's going on. You're here. You're part of the community. But, I feel bad for all the people out there that are listening to the big channels and the big YouTubers and last chance below, Bitcoin will ever be below 10K and this is it and that and it. I mean, guys, The last push up here on Bitcoin was like 14,000, that last big push. And a lot of the big analysts in the space were still saying we were bullish until like $10,000. Admittedly saying we were bullish till $10,000. So they lost 40% of their gains or accounts or whatever you want to call it. There was a 40% dump in the market. Oh, well, almost, not quite, but 14,000 to 10,000. That's a massive move down before you can confirm that we're no longer in an uptrend. Please, please do not follow these people with your money. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please do your own research and trade responsibly. But, I've been doing this for a long time, and I see deep into this, not only the psychology and the price movements and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, if you take the time and you learn technical analysis correctly and you really dive deep into it, you will truly understand these markets in a way that you didn't know possible. Crypto Trend Trader, and I'm out of here.